There everyone, welcome back to our Two Smalls YouTube channel, and this right here is our 2022 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon 4xe. It is kind of a long name for a car, but this right here is the Jeep Wrangler in the Rubicon trim, and this is the 4xe, so it is the plug-in hybrid. So off of a glance, you can tell that this car has been modified, and almost every bit of it has actually been modified. Besides the engine is mostly stock. Just gonna do a quick little walk around. So this car is on a ready lift kit, and I'm gonna go over that right now. This was not cheap for a Jeep, brand new. This Jeep was right under $67,000, and that is quite a lot of money for a Jeep. And I don't have a picture of how it looks stock, but I will try to search something up and try to see if I can find something similar. But since this Jeep was $67,000, this Jeep is kind of loaded, and on top of that, we spent $15,000 over. So yes, that is correct. We spent $15,000 on the upgrades on this Jeep, making it a grand total of $82,000 for a Jeep. I know that sounds really crazy, but in today's video, we are going to be going over all of that. And yeah, we're going to do a review, and then also I'm going to be going over the mods that we have done to this Jeep. I don't have an exact pricing for everything right off the top of my head, but I will try to do a layout in the description down below. But starting off here, we have this Dedro bumper. We didn't go with anything too big of a bumper. We went with something that cuts off right where the wheels are. And I think that it makes the Jeep look very good while also maintaining that clearance on the sides. Right here on the front, we have this 13,000-pound winch, which is by TYT. This is a very good winch, and it is fully remote controlled. You have this wireless remote right here. You actually get two of these, and you get a wired one, just in case this one decides to die. But this is a very nice winch. Next thing on the Jeep, which is actually very controversial, is the angry face. I think that it makes this Jeep look very nice, especially in this bright white. But I don't know. Let me know what your thoughts are down below. I like these hood latches. For some reason people don't like them, but I think that they're just a great addition to the Jeeps. The hood of the Jeep, you have a 2-liter i4 engine producing 375 horsepower and 470 foot-pounds of torque. Now, I know that may sound a little underpowered, especially with the big tires that we have on here, but with the electric system that this has, this Jeep is plenty powerful and can actually get up and go very fast, but especially when it's 100% charged. Tuned to the end of this video because the mile per gallon might actually shock you. But for right now, I'm going to give you guys a warm startup because the car is already warm, but just so you guys know how this engine sounds. Decided to shut off on me for some reason, but as you guys could tell, when the Jeep first starts, no matter how many percentage batteries it's at, it always starts off in electric, and as soon as you give it some gas, it turns the engine on. But one thing I would like to say is that you can't actually rev this Jeep, which is probably a good thing, but it won't let you rev it. Before we talk about more of the cosmetics on the Jeep, first let's go ahead and talk about what has actually been done to this Jeep. So on this Jeep, we have a 5-inch ready lift kit, and it is paired with some TerraFlex control arms and then also shocks. And this Jeep is running 37 by 12.5s. The rims are a 22. I will talk about these in a little bit, but we are also running a spacer to give the front end some more clearance, and then also to make the look on the front better. Like I mentioned, these are a 37 by 12.5 Toyo road and terrain open country tire, and in the middle we have these RBP Spike 77Rs. These are a 22-inch rim, and they are finished in this black and then this chrome color. One thing that I would like to say about this nubby tire, which is to be expected, is that first, when you guys are driving in the rain, since it is so much out of the fender, it throws water up on the windshield and also the person coming up behind you, but also it does make a lot of noise, but you slowly get used to it over time, but it does make the car look good. The hood is a stock 4xe hood with the vents and then the black matte wrap right there. You have this thing right here if you want to fold your windshield down. We can't do that on this Jeep very easily, but I'll show you guys that why in a few moments. Right here we just have some regular lights. These are some spotlights, and I'll show you guys how bright they are. They're not the brightest, but they do make the car look good. And right over here we just have a stubby antenna just to replace the other one, but then also be able to listen to the radio. Car has actually been tinted. It is 5s in the rear and I believe 25s up front, including the windshield. If you guys saw our last video about the G-Wagon, I showed you guys the S-Class, and that was not tinted up at the front, but this car is, and it actually does make the car look very good, but it also makes it very hard to see at night.
I can't see fucking shit out of this thing.
This car does get driven daily, but we wanted it to have a clean look while being functional, so we decided to go with these AMP Research footsteps. They deploy, and they actually have a light on the bottom right here, and at night they look very good, and from far away they make the Jeep look very good as well. Coming to the back end of the Jeep, there is no spacer in the back here. Same wheel and tire setup throughout. Coming under the Jeep here, we just have the regular ready lift shocks on this Jeep. Nothing fancy yet. Probably in the future gonna go with some Fox shocks and maybe a different lift kit. So we actually use this Jeep for towing. That may sound funny, but that is why we have this ball right here and also this trailer connection right here. And this Jeep, which you can probably tell, doesn't tow the best, and I believe I have 2 or 3 clips of us trying to tow with it. This thing does sag a lot while you are towing, but that is expected from a Jeep. It's not too much of a tow vehicle, but you can use it to tow. Back here we have another dead drop bumper, this time for the rear. This thing is very nice because it's beefy, has a footstep right here, recovery bars, and this thing right here, I believe it's probably for clearance or something like that. And this thing right here didn't come factory. We actually got this installed from Brock's Trailers. Take these windows off. Like I said, it's super easy. Just grab this right here, pull down right here and right there. This thing comes up into the side. I have a picture of us actually taking everything off of the Jeep, and it looks very good. But you can't take this off. I mean, you can, but it's too much work, and I'll talk about that more here in a little bit. This is the interior of the Jeep, and sorry, it might be a little messy, but that is expected from a Jeep. But here it is. You guys might be like, hey, that's not a $66,000 interior, but it actually is. We opted to go with these cloth seats instead of the leather seats. Like I mentioned, this car does get driven daily, and with how hot it is here, the leather would just be too hot, and the cloth actually doesn't get too hot. And along with these window tints, it keeps it very cool in here. We have these custom red floor mats, and I'm actually going to show you guys something. We got a key fob color to match the floor mats. Right over here is a steering wheel with all of your buttons right here. Your headlights are right here. Right here is how you open your gas cap. Hybrid, electric, and e-save, these are your options. Right down here is the button for the lights. That right there is just for the footsteps. And yeah, I will talk to you guys some more about it right now. We did do a couple of things to the interior of the Jeep as well. Right over here is a magnet if you want to go ahead and hang something. Some American flag storage right here. Right down there is actually a bass, gain, and controller. So if you want to go ahead and raise or lower the gain. Right over here we have these little American flags as kind of things to prevent cups, mugs, or anything like that from spilling inside of the cup holder. Right over here is the Rubicon screen. I know that it's not as big as the new 2025 one, but the difference between this and a Sport would be that the Sport is probably half the size of the screen, but this is a full size. Right down here, since this is a Rubicon, you have your sway bar, you have your gear selector right here. By gear selector I mean 2 high, 4 low, for high or neutral. Right over here you have your lockers, and then also your differentials. Right over here is actually where the buttons are for a Jeep to lower or raise the windows. You have a cigarette lighter right here, and you have a plug over here. This is cruise control for the sand. This is if you want to turn on regenerative braking, how to mute the screen, turn on or off the screen. Your air conditioning is right here. Your tune schooler is right there. You have a grab bar right over here, a gray dash, just some like a compartment to put all of your paperwork and stuff like that. There are these door side cubbies along with storage up here. But yeah, that is the front of this Jeep, and that is at least the bottom side of it. Up here you have this garage door opener, and this is actually a super cool thing. I'm gonna show you guys that just in 1 second. Mirror right here. You have your assist or SOS buttons right there. Just plain and simple mirror, LEDs in there. But let me tell you guys what my favorite part about this Jeep is. One of the reasons this is actually a $66,000 Jeep is because of this right here, and that is because the one touch top. With just one touch you can go ahead and open the entire top like a convertible, and this is just a super cool thing, because on a hot day you can go ahead and open the top in just a push of a button, and if it starts raining or if it starts getting cold, you can go ahead and put it back on. So it is just the opposite button to go ahead and close it. Just in a click of a button it actually closes, and that is also why you can't take these off, because this whole thing is not one whole panel. This is separate. This doesn't come off. Actually, if you want to take this off, you first have to come over here, unbolt this whole thing, this whole entire one touch system. I believe these are the bolts for it, and then that is how you're gonna get it to be like a regular Jeep. Let's go ahead and turn this annoying sound off, and that is also how you're gonna go ahead and get the front windshield off. Personally, that is just way too much stuff, but I like that you could still take the doors off with these. So right back here, the controls for the windows are right here, along with some air conditioning buttons right here, charger right down there, and right here. I just love how it's super simple back here. The one thing that I hate is this legroom, and this seat is not all the way back but very close to it, and I have a little bit of legroom, but for a couple of hours it would most definitely be uncomfortable. For watching this very brief tour of our 2022 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon 4xe, and here's just one more look at it. But thank you guys so much for watching, and please like, subscribe, and share. Have a great day.